Hi, this is Lydia. Welcome to my Archival Remix demo. For my project, I thought it would be interesting to be able to interact with 19th century whaling prints as if they were photographs from a whale watching venture. As someone with a deep appreciation for all things aquatic, this topic was a natural choice for me. I began by searching for whale images in the New York Public Library Digital Archives. I found several prints that I thought would make great searches for my database, which I'm calling the Factual and Fantastic Whale Identifier. This database would work by using identifying technology to compare the uploaded image with images already loaded into the database. A similar technology already exists. It's called Match My Whale. However, it appears to still be in beta and actually relies upon real scientists and marine biologists to identify the images. My database would be more intimate in that it would just rely on images that have already been uploaded rather than consulting scientists. I have an example of what the actual website would look like. So whaleidentifier.com, it would be the Factual and Fantastic Whale Identifier where users could drag and drop or upload an image of an antique print or whaling image. So I have uploaded an image here of a print called Whalers Headed Towards a Whale from the New York Public Library Digital Collection. Unfortunately, little other information is available regarding this print, but we can assume from its style that it is a 19th century whaling print. Upon uploading to the database, the technology would identify the actual whale and single it out from the background. It would then see that it is a baleen whale. You can see here that's baleen, which would limit it to about 12 species that are baleen whales. So then our technology would know that it doesn't need to compare to all whale species, just those with baleen. Moving forward, it would single out the fluke. The fluke is an identifying tool with whale species. So comparing it to other species, here we have the humpback whale. You can see it's slightly different in markings and shape. Here we have the North Atlantic right whale, similar in markings, shape is slightly different. Here we have the gray whale, again, marking and shape both different. The southern right whale is pretty similar, slightly different with the shape. And now the closest match that our database could find is the bowhead whale. We can see similarities in the shape, especially at the tips of the fluke, and in the coloration as well. So our database would say that's a pretty good match. It would then use other images of bowhead whales to see if they can find any other confirmation. So going back to our print, we can see, you can't really see any of the pectoral fins. It doesn't have a dorsal fin, so any other factors would have to be in the head. Luckily enough, the bowhead whale's head is very easily identifiable due to the bowhead. So here we have an image of a stranded bowhead whale. You can see stark similarities in the shape of the head, the placement of the eye, and the shape of the baleen mouth. So our database would say this is a match. So back to our page here, this is what the match page would look like. It would say likely a match, bowhead whale. And then we would have other information provided by marine biologists about the bowhead whale species. So habitat, range, things like that would be available to our user. Another example is a fantastic example. So here we go back to our homepage. Someone can drag and drop this image, which is also from the New York Public Library Digital Collection, and it's called Capturing White Whales. This one is from 1869. So again, the technology would separate the actual whale from the print to avoid any confusion. We have little to go off with this one. There's really no discernible features. You can't see the fluke. So our database would run a broad search and with just white whales in the general shape. The first possible match would be the beluga whale. We see similarities here in coloration. However, you can't see the fluke, so we can't tell if that's similar, but from what we can see, it looks slightly different. The pectoral fin looks different. It's large and rounded on the beluga, and it looks collapsed and almost fin, like fish fin-like in the print. And then there's also a pectoral fin, a dorsal fin rather, which doesn't exist in the beluga whale. So moving forward, we have an albino orca, which has some similarities in the pectoral fin. We see some with the dorsal fin, but again, differences in especially this bulbous feature on the tip of the orca's nose, which doesn't exist in our print. And then this is an albino humpback whale. We see some similarities with the dorsal fin, but little else. We can't really see too much more in this image we have. So our database might conclude that it's unable to locate a match, but the image itself is likely fantastic from this inability to find a match. So we can say that it's potentially based upon the following species: beluga whale, albino orca, albino humpback whale. And it could be a combination of the three, or even other features from sharks, fish. You can see the fin looks very fish-like instead of marine mammal-like. So this technology would offer both archivists and people who are interested in the whaling industry or just whales in general an opportunity to identify fantastical representations of whales and porpoises. So often when we look at these prints, it's difficult to discern the actual species, and this technology would allow for us to do so. As someone who will hopefully one day become an archivist and is already an avid whale enthusiast, I'm very excited by this website and hope that it one day exists. Thank you.